caught the ear of Master P, who's
Mm-hmm.
arguably the biggest CEO of all time. How did you
Right.
catch the ear of him?
All right. Well, shit, man. I'm gonna tell you what's crazy about that. Right. This is a true story. You know, it's funny because I never knew who P was. Romeo Rynell, he's from Kansas City, right? And he was like a local rapper. He was,
shout out to
yeah,
Romeo
yeah, he
Rynell.
was, yeah, shout out. He was my barber, man. Romeo Rynell's from my neighborhood. His barbershop was 2 blocks down from where I lived at. I was a kid literally walking to his barbershop. And so he used to bring little local concerts. You know, he would like get the club and do all of that. Man, this is before I knew anything about show business. I'm probably maybe 13, 14 or something like that. And I can remember me hearing about him talking about Master P. You know, I didn't know who this guy was, you know what I mean? And this is probably around the Mama's Bad Boy time. Like, this is Ghetto's Trying to Kill Me, probably right before that or something like that. And so I didn't pay no attention to it, you know what I mean? So then I was in a rap group, you know, called CCG, which consists of me and my partner Cisco. And so we incorporated another guy named Dank Nitty for a spell who used to do beats and rap with us and shit. And so Dank Nitty, he, you know, people used to say all the time, like, man, that other guy that y'all got, he sounds just like P. He sounds just like Master P. Me and Cisco had never heard of him. It was like, man, we don't know. Who is this guy, Master P? And so anyway, we end up, you know, saying, man, let's see what this is about, because people keep saying this guy sounds like that. So we heard Ghetto's Trying to Kill Me, and Dank Nitty was a big fan of Master P. So that was my first exposure to P, which was Ghetto's Trying to Kill Me. So how the No Limit situation came about was, you know, we had been doing tapes, local tapes in Kansas City. You know, we had been recording. At this time, it was just really us. You know, Tech was out, of course. He was doing his thing. He was a little bit more advanced than us because he was a little older than us as well. So he was kind of finding his way in that scene, too. He was going through his deals with QD3 and, you know, everybody trying to get out and get on or whatever. It was a handful of us in the city trying to do it. And so I came up with an idea one day. I was like, man, you know what? You know, I didn't know what the verbiage was. I was like, man, we need to start sending some of this shit out. You know what I'm saying? Let's put together. I didn't even know the concept of a press kit. I just knew that my common sense told me, okay, let's take some pictures. They need to know what we look like. You know, let's record the tapes and let's tell them about us. Man, I was sending handwritten bios and shit, right? So I didn't even know I was doing. Man, I'm doing this and I'm writing each letter by hand. This ain't even no copy and shit. Like I'm like 16, you know what I'm saying? I'm like 16, right? So now mind you, this is when I understood. I was sending shit to Jive. I was sending shit to Atlantic. You know, I'm getting the addresses off the back of my tapes, you know, and so I was receiving them. I was getting them back unopened, you know, and they was just stamping on there, would not, you know, accept unsolicited material. That was my first experience with that. So, you know, at first I'm like, damn, they don't like our shit. They didn't even listen to it. Like, what the fuck this is? You know what I mean? So finally somebody told me, like, nah, they just don't want to open it because it didn't come by way of agent or, you know, A&R, nothing like that. So they not even going to fuck with it. They get that all the time. So I said, damn. I said, okay. So again, not even understanding the business, knowing nothing, but just going off of just ambition and hunger and just common sense. I said, well, damn, I need to go to smaller people. So I was like, well, shit, let me try to. I didn't know the term indie major or independence, you know. I just thought they were people I could touch, you know what I mean? So I said, fuck it. So I pulled up In a Minute. I don't know if you remember them, In a Minute Records, and Black Market, No Limit, Rap a Lot. I just started going to people who I didn't know the term independent, just somebody I felt was smaller. And so what I did, because, you know, I was doing my little thing back then, so I had the big white brick cell phone and shit where they charge you 35 cents a minute and shit back then, right? So what I would do is I would call the voicemail, the numbers, if the tape had a number, I would call and I would fill up the voicemail. Man, my name Court Dog, I'm from Kansas City. Man, I sent you a tape. You need to listen to it. And I would purposely fill up everybody's voicemail. And so what ended up happening is, I guess P got tired of me calling, you know what I'm saying, filling this shit up. So he was like, man, who the fuck is this dude keep calling, talking about listen to a tape. So he sent Mr. Serve on in, to go get the package. Like, man, go get this dude's tape, man, because this dude going, you know what I'm saying? Who the fuck is he? He persistent, if anything, you know what I mean? So, and that was it. And what happened now, I kind of skipped some time. What that was, this was when I was 17, actually, about to be 18, because I graduated high school. So this is I graduated in 94, so this is about 95. And so, he had sent, Serve to go get it. So he hit me back, man, you know what I'm saying, and was like, he called me, and I was shocked, you know what I'm saying, and that was how that started.
Man, see, that's crazy. It shows that your persistence, it paid off.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much how I got in with Murder Dog. I kept bugging the shit out of Black Dog, kept calling the office, you know what I'm saying, and eventually he's like, man, let's just shut this guy up, let him do some reviews, whatever.
Right.
But yeah, man, that's huge. So next thing you know, you guys got a deal with Master P or whatnot. You're on the Down South Hustlers, which went gold at the time, which was huge.
Right.
So coming out of Kansas City, you would be probably the first artist with a gold plaque credentials at that time. That's got to be a huge accomplishment for you too.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. To be honest with you, man, I mean, I mean, you probably have to check I'm sure it's not too far from the truth, but I mean, to be honest with you, there's a lot of things I was the first of coming out of Kansas City. I mean, not to slight anybody or nothing like that, because I mean, we all, contributed and made each other better. You know what I'm saying? And we all, like I'll say it. I mean, I could in some ways be considered, one of the young bosses of Kansas City, but in terms of music, actual content and music, I mean, you got to get at the Tech. Tech is the king of Kansas City when it comes to music, you know what I'm saying? But like I've always said, I mean, myself, Rich the Factor, Money G, Southside Posse, I mean, it's a host of them. I don't want to forget nobody, but, we all contributed a brick, to this illustrious foundation Tech has built on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, absolutely. It's a bunch of us, man. I mean, I could really go through the gambit, but we all contributed and pushed each other, and made each other better. You know what I mean? But as far as me, yeah, I was like, that's the thing, man. I was younger than what a lot of people thought. Just because I hustled and the way I moved in the streets, the way I moved in business, the way I moved in the music. A lot of people, they thought that I was younger than everybody. Like I'm the baby from that era. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I was the first one to bring a gold plaque back to the city in terms of rap music. At that time, and and that was the start of it right there, man. I mean, we was on, like it was cracking right there. And for those that don't know, we did the song R.I.P., which is on, I don't know, disc 1 or disc 2, I can't remember, but I was, the third, I was second, no, I was third, I can't remember, I was third, I think, on there, and we did, and if you remember on the inside of the cover, it has CCG coming soon. We did an album called 100% Game, and it was me and my partner Cisco, but, the situation, excuse me, had got a little funky, and that's the thing a lot of people don't know, is what happened was, P had flew us out to Oakland, and I mean, man, that was big for us, bro. Like, we hadn't, you know what I'm saying? We hadn't win any, I mean, we from Kansas City, you know what I'm saying? So that was big for us. Like, he sent us tickets, brought us out there, man. We had never done anything like that in the music, So we young guys with, big dreams and different things like that. So, he had us in the studio with Al Eaton and K. Lou, and these were big guys at the time. You know what I mean? These were guys that we was seeing on the back of Too Short's tapes. You know what I'm saying? So he got us in the studio. So we were just initially going out there just to do the Down South Hustlers, because at the time, Bone had came out. You know what I mean? Thuggish Ruggish Bone had blew up. So that kind of, I mean, it put us in that line to where P was like, oh shit, this is my version of Bone Thugs and Harmony. You know what I mean? So we had did that, but it was some internal shit that kind of happened, man. That sidelined us a little bit, and what that was, just my partner that I rap with, man. Him and P just kind of didn't get along. They just didn't, and part of that was because me and P had established a relationship prior to us going out there. Like me and P, I made contact. Like he knew me. Like we talked for months before we even went to Oakland. So me and him had established a relationship. Him and my guy, they never talked. They didn't even know each other. They was like strangers. You know what I mean? So at the time, we had a manager, and he didn't know what he was doing either. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and we were kids, so understand, we 17, 18, with these, adult life decisions with no reference point, so we kind of got to figure it out as we go along. You know what I'm saying? So the manager that we had at the time, he didn't know what the fuck he was doing. He was from New Jersey and shit. He knew more than us, but he didn't know what the fuck he was doing, period. You know what I mean? So the funny thing about that dynamic is me and P got along really well. I mean, we hit it off the rip. He was like a big brother. But I never really got along with our manager at the time. But my partner, him and our manager, like they clicked. You see, so it was kind of these antagonizing kind of little undercurrents going on. And so when we got out to Oakland, we did the P was like, fuck it, let's do an album. I was like, cool, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? So our manager, he was hitting P like, man, so what's up on the paperwork? What's up with the points? What's up with the bid? What's the woo and all this old dumb shit, right? So, P was kind of like, I mean, he just starting out. He like, man, these guys, ain't nobody checking for these guys. Like, I'm giving them an opportunity. Like, let's see what happened. I mean, let's see what happened, and then we'll go from there. So I can remember, I'm 17, man, again, common sense, and just, my mind frame was like, okay, it ain't like we got a bidding war right now. It ain't like we got a bunch of labels checking for us at the point, at this moment. I said we popular back home a little bit, but you know what I'm saying? That ain't shit, not where we trying to get to, you know what I'm saying? So I said, well, fuck it. My exact words was like, let's go ahead and do it, you know what I'm saying? And once the shit blow up, if the shit do what it's supposed to do, then we make ourselves viable. Then, shit, he got to, make it right with us and do what we got to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought like a hustler because that's really what I was doing. You know what I mean? So, but my manager, he didn't take it like that. Like, he was, like, pushing P like he was a major. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we want this much advancement. We want this. We want that. You would have thought that we came in and had already sold 100, 200,000 records. You know what I mean? So, it put me in a precarious position at that time because, it was like, fuck. It was like, damn, I can remember P like, man, you my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm vibing with you, but the baggage and shit that you coming with, like, that shit is complicating shit, But, again, at 17, I'm like, well, shit, I came with my guy. Like, it got to be both of us or nothing. You know what I mean? So P respected that. He was like, I respect that, man. So what happened was we went back to Kansas City, and that's where you see me start grinding out independently. But me and P always kept a relationship. Even through, his heights, I could always get him on the phone. He fandangled my relationship with Selecto, with Southwest at the time. Like, he walked me through all of that. So it wasn't like okay, fuck you, nigga, go ahead, whatever. It was like, okay, man, I get it. You a solid dude. That's your guy. You know what I mean? You want to, you know what I'm saying? You being loyal and you want to do your own thing. I still got your back. So that's how that situation worked.
Respect